Hi, I'm Tom Hess, and I'm glad that you've come here to check out this video to learn more about teaching guitar lessons. Now, as you can probably imagine, there's going to be two main sides to being successful as a guitar teacher and teaching guitar lessons. The first side is going to be the teaching side, the teaching skills side, and that makes up components such as your ability to communicate good with students, your ability to find the right materials, lesson materials for students, and then your ability to have an overall strategy to take students from the first lesson to the next lesson, to the next, etc. And then on the other side, there's going to be all sorts of elements that go into building a guitar teaching business so that you can make money and have a very lucrative guitar teaching career at the same time. Now let's go back to the teaching skills, those elements. A big mistake that a lot of new guitar teachers make, and even some experienced ones also, is that they start off by looking for specific materials to use for all their students, or at least for most of their students. And the other thing that they look for is a methodology or a strategy or a template that they can use to design the overall process that they're going to take students through from the beginning all the way up into the more advanced stages. And this is a really big mistake, to look for one or two templates or methods that can be used, to take all students through. And the reason why it's a big mistake is that even if the strategy that you have or the template that you're using or your methodology works and works well for some students, for many other students, as you're going to find out, it's not going to work at all. It's not going to connect with them. It's not going to be appropriate for those students. Now you might be wondering, well, what if we just don't have any system and I just focus on teaching each student individually and deal with his or her problems on an individual basis and not use any type of formalized system or structure? Isn't that a good idea, or wouldn't that be ideal? And the answer is no. Why would the answer be no, when intuitively it might seem like that would be a very good idea? Well, the answer is no, because for centuries, music teachers in general and guitar teachers specifically have already gone through that process of teaching all of the specific challenges that students are going to encounter and have developed very good ways to deal with those problems. Okay, there's nothing that you're ever going to encounter with any student you're ever going to come across that other very successful teachers haven't already come across and haven't already dealt with in a very powerful and effective way. Now, most teachers don't fall into that category, but there are a few that have. Okay, let me talk to you a little bit about the business side. There's going to be a set of 4 main systems that you're going to want to set up and get really good at if you want to build a very, very lucrative and profitable teaching business. And those 4 areas are lead generation. That means where, how, and when you're going to be getting new students attracted to you, new prospective students. The other second component is conversion. And what that means is once students actually find out about you, potentially new students, and they contact you either by telephone or email or through your website, there's going to be a process that they're going to go through in determining if they're going to ultimately become a student of yours, or if they're going to choose another teacher, or if they're going to choose not to go forward with any teacher at all. So conversion, encouraging people to believe and understand that you are in fact the best option for them, and then being able to back that up, that's a very important process. Okay, and there's some very specific things I can do to help you with that. Now the third area is retention, and this is the one that's most often overlooked by teachers, and that is that they don't really work hard and have systematic ways and effective ways to keep the students they have with them longer. Now it's not just simply about stringing students along and keeping to continue taking their money forever and ever and ever. It's not about that. What it's about is getting the students to become engaged and committed and really enthusiastic long term while they're going through that entire learning process with you. Okay, so you want to keep them there because they want to be there, and they want to be there because they're getting so much benefit and value from all the experiences that they're having with you, in the teacher-student relationship, and you are literally transforming their life. You might think that for a lot of even, hobbyist players that, guitar playing may not be as serious to them as it is for you. It doesn't have to be like a big priority in their life. You can still transform people's lives even through a hobby. Okay, they don't have to be, professional guitar player, minded or with those kind of goals in order to really affect them in very strong ways. And the fourth area that you really need to get a system for is referrals. Most business owners in general, and music teachers in particular, just believe that referrals or word of mouth is just something that happens naturally. That if you do well and your students like you, they'll tell their friends about you, etc. Well, it is true that some of that's going to happen naturally, but if you want to rapidly accelerate that process, there are some very specific things that you can do to make the number of referrals that are coming to you and the quality of those referrals much, much, much higher. Okay, so I laid out some few things on the teaching side and on the teaching business side that you need to get started to think about, but I didn't really tell you how to get any of those resources or where to start. Well, now we're getting to that point. At my website, I have some free online resources at the link below. So what I'm going to do is invite you to come to my website, check out these resources, which include some self-assessments and some tests, and I want you to answer those questions to the best of your ability. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to provide you via email some very specific feedback on each individual answer that you give for each question that I'm asking. So if I see that you're strong in one area but weaker in another area, or you're already doing well here but you haven't really ever considered doing this, or you're not doing it very effectively or as much as you would like, I'm going to help you with those areas and get you started on what you need to do to move forward on all those different elements. In addition, I'm going to give you a very special video. It's about 20 minutes long. It's too big to put here on YouTube since the maximum allowable time is only 10 minutes right now on YouTube. So I can only put it on my site. And in that video, I'm going to introduce to you a very innovative guitar teaching model, which is going to integrate more benefit, more value that your students are going to be able to get from you than they're getting right now, and a whole lot more in terms of your financial income and your ability to grow your business to a level much greater than you probably can even imagine what the most elite guitar teachers are making. Teaching guitar is not one of those things where, if you're pretty good, you might make $30,000 a year or $35,000 a year. That's about average for a good guitar teacher. But the truth is, and the fact is, that there are guitar teachers making well into six figures per year. $100,000 per year, $200,000 per year, $300,000 per year. Now that might seem like astronomical amounts of money or impossible amounts of money to make teaching guitar, but I'm here to tell you from personal experience, from my own personal income, and through those other guitar teachers who I mentor on a regular basis, there are people making that kind of money every single day. So anyway, the point is, come to my website, check out these free resources that I have set up for guitar teachers like yourself, and get started on understanding how you can gain so many more skills, and enhance the skills that you already have, and add some new techniques, some new, some new methods for those core areas that we talked about, and then set up your business so that you're able to make so much more money. Not because you just change, what you charge for lessons and you jack up the rates. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about introducing some leverageable teaching models that are going to achieve both goals of giving so much more value and benefit to your students, and at the same time enable you to make so much more money than you can probably even imagine.